everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Agnieszkania and I'm a 3D modeling artist. This is a very special tutorial because it has a lot to do with the Christmas seasons, the Christmas festivity, the Christmas spirit. So today I'll be teaching you how to create a Christmas ornament right from the start. If you are looking to create a Christmas ornament to put in your tree in a 3D environment, landscape, or something related to Christmas, you've come to the right video. I hope you learn a lot. I'll be talking about voronoi textures, different kinds of notes, how to set extruding textures from the Christmas ornament, how to create shiny materials that go very much along with the Christmas season. So I hope you learn a lot with this video. If you have any doubts, don't forget to write them in the comments down below. I'll be very happy to answer any questions you may have. I hope you enjoy this video, and also don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment and share with your friends. And also I wish you a very Merry Christmas. And so without further ado, let's get on with the video. Now let's get started with the Christmas ornament. First, we're going to delete the default cube and add a sphere by pressing Shift A and UV sphere. Go into edit mode and let's make the top part of the Christmas ornament a little bit smaller. I'm selecting the faces at the top of the sphere, resizing them by pressing S and extruding them by pressing E. Let's unsharp the bottom edges around the handle. I'm selecting the edge and beveling them by pressing Ctrl V and adding about 3 to 4 segments to make it look a little bit smoother. I'm adding 3 times the subdivision surface modifier to add smoothness to the sphere. You can also add it from the Add Modifier tab, but I'm pressing Ctrl 3 in order to add a 3 times level viewport modifier into the sphere. Now I'm going to create the Christmas ornament handle separately. I'm going to add a circle by pressing Shift A and circle. I'm resizing it by pressing S. Then I'm going into edit mode and I'm going to extrude it in the Z-axis upwards. Press F to create a face. And adjust the handle at what you think fits best according to your sphere. Now I'm going to checker deselect the vertices at the bottom of the handle. I'm going to grab them upwards to create this Christmassy effect. I'm going to shade smooth the sphere again. And I'm going to add a solidify modifier in order to add a little bit more volume to the handle. I'm putting it at a 0.1 thickness value, but feel free to adjust it at whatever you think fits best for the handle. I'm going to bevel the top face, this time by adding around 4 to 5 segments, and I'm going to right click on my mouse and shade smooth it. Also, don't forget to go to the Object Data Properties tab and clicking on the Auto Smooth option. I always recommend doing this step if you're smoothing the object, because then it can produce some weird effects on your object that you wouldn't desire. I'm doing some final changes to the handle in order for it to acquire the shape we are looking for. Now I'm going to create another small little handle which will help us put our spheres in the Christmas tree. This time I'm adding a torus by pressing Shift A and torus and putting the major segments value at 28. Now I'm going to go into wireframe mode and delete the bottom part of the torus. I'm also going to create the faces on each side of the torus. And now basically I'm going to resize it in order for it to fit the top of the handle. Shade smooth the half torus by right clicking on the mouse and pressing shade smooth, and don't forget to activate the auto smooth option again. Let's add 2 edge loops, one at each side of the torus in order to add a more complex defined shape. And look at how we are going with the Christmas ornaments so far. I'm going to resize the handle a little bit bigger and apply each of the modifiers to each one of the shapes we created. Also, please don't forget to save your file. You wouldn't want the Christmas ornament to be erased. Now I'm going to add a UV seam by pressing UV and mark seam. This will help us enormously when we're going to unwrap our texture. Now I'm going to create a material. I'm going to name it Ornament Handle. And now I'm going to select these bottom faces and I'm going to click on UV and unwrap. Now we can see how this seam has enormously helped us when unwrapping our handle. I'm going to change the base color a little bit for it to look a little bit golden and glossy. Move the metallic value all the way to 1, also the specular value, and make the roughness value a little bit smaller. Also, don't forget to change the base color to whatever color you like best. This is just my personal taste, but feel free to move it to whatever you like. Now we're going to add the texture to the handle. I'm adding an image texture node. I'm opening the image, which you can find in the description down below in this video. I'm going to add this Christmas pattern, which I found free on Pixabay, and add it to the normal node. I'm also going to add a bump node in order to create a small bumping effect on the handle, which we're going to see in a few moments. Don't forget to change the image texture to non-color, and don't forget also that the node color is connected to the height and not the normal as it is by default connected. And now we can see this glossy golden effect protruding from the model. Now what I would really like to do is to apply this whole pattern to all of the handle, not just the bottom parts as I see it right now. I'm going to select all of the faces by selecting the top face and pressing Ctrl plus the plus sign on the numpad. And I'm going to unwrap it again, and now we can see the whole effect has been applied to the handle. I want the top handle to have exactly the same material. I'm also going to add a seam. I'm selecting one edge and going to UV and mark seam. I'm going to go to the material tab and add exactly the same material. Don't forget that we also need to unwrap it again. I'm going to do a project from view bounce projection, and now we can see that we have the same pattern on the top handle, and now it looks really golden, glossy and beautiful. Make the roughness value a little bit smaller. And also rename this handle in order for us not to lose it throughout all the objects we may have in our hierarchy. Now I'm showing you some of the textures we're going to apply to the main sphere ornament. We're going to do this by adding another material, this time into the main sphere, and I'm going to name this one Tree Sphere. Let's add another image texture node and open our Christmas tree image. Connect the image texture node to the base color node, and now we can see that our Christmas tree texture has been projected onto the sphere. But we want the tree to be at the middle part of the sphere. I'm going to select the sphere, do a project from view projection, and now I'm going to go to the UV editor tab I'm going to resize my map in order for the tree to look proportional and at the middle part of the sphere. Increase the metallic value up to 1, as well as the specular value, and don't forget to decrease the roughness value to about 0.4. Now I'm going to add a color ramp. I'm going to join it with the image texture node, and I'm going to move the first value up to 0.49 and the second value of the color ramp to 0.5. Join the color ramp value to the metallic node, and now let's add an invert node. Why am I doing this? Because I only want the metallic value to be applied to the main color of the sphere except the tree image. Now let's add some bumpiness into the image. Connect the image texture node to the normal node and add a bump node. Now we can see that if we add the color node into the height, not the normal node, we're going to see some bumpiness coming from the image. And there we have it. We have a basic Christmas ornament with a very glossy and metallic feeling. But it doesn't stop there. We can also make it a little bit more complex. To do this, I'm adding a voronoi texture node. I'm going to add the corresponding mapping texture and the texture coordinate node. This in order for it to take the corresponding UV map the sphere is using. And let's add a mix RGB node. This would be necessary in order to connect the two textures we have. We connect the mix RGB node into the bump node, and look at that, we now have a more elaborated Christmas ornament. In order to give it a more realistic feeling, I'm increasing the scale value a little bit. I can say to a value of 40 or 50 would be ideal, and I'm also trying out the different types of options that we have in the voronoi texture. I highly encourage you to move and try out all of the options that you find in the notes in order for you to create your own unique spheres and whatever it is the result you are most looking for. So as you can see, I'm trying out some of the different options from the voronoi texture, but I find that the second option, which is the F2, is the one that appeals the most to me. And yeah, I can't say it enough, but feel free to move the roughness value, the factor value to whatever values you find the most fitting for you. And now we are done with the first Christmas tree sphere. I'm going to create two other spheres, one which will be a gingerbread man sphere and another one which will feature a Santa Claus hat. I'm duplicating the whole object by pressing Ctrl D and moving it by pressing GX to the right side of the Christmas tree sphere. Don't forget to rename each one of your objects so that you don't mix them or confuse them with other ones. Duplicate the material by pressing the little 2 number that appeared in the material tab and rename the material to the gingerbread man sphere. I'm selecting the texture again, and now we can see that the same configurations that we had put on the Christmas tree first are now applied to the second sphere. It is important to duplicate your material because if you don't duplicate it, it will override all of the textures and characteristics that you put in the first Christmas tree sphere. Now we're repeating the same process we did for the Christmas tree sphere and the gingerbread man sphere, but now adding the Santa Claus texture hats. Look how wonderful these Christmas ornaments are looking right now. And now we've basically finished with the modeling and texturing of these Christmas ornaments. Don't forget that once you join the Christmas handle with the sphere, by pressing Ctrl J, we need to auto smooth the object again by going into the Object Data Properties tab and pressing the auto smooth option. Now, as you can see, I'm just positioning the pivot point at the top of the sphere, this in order for us to give us a ability to move the sphere just as we would move it if we placed it in a Christmas tree. I'm repeating the same process for each one of the spheres. And now we have it. We have our Christmas ornaments finished. Now during the next couple of minutes you will see the process I do to create the background for the environment. On an upcoming video, I will explain how I create the snow in that environment, so stay tuned for that video. I hope you enjoy it. there we have it. We have our final render using Hiii of the Christmas ornaments we created and textured using Blender. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment and share with your friends. It will help me a lot and I will really appreciate it from you. So I hope to see you in the next video, and don't forget to check out my previous videos where I am teaching you how to create a Starbucks cup, how to create grass in Blender, and stay tuned for all of the videos that are going to come the following weeks. I'm so excited for that. So yeah, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and yeah, I'll be seeing you around. Bye!